What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who's just looking to justify her Indian motorcycle purchase? This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. You ring that bell, you'll know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on our Cardo communicator, or would you like to save some money on some Beyond Riders gear or on some Kemimoto gear? Then you should check my referral links down below. Want to support me in all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Bam! Then you should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Well, I know why I'm asking you for money. Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links down below that also go to a good cause is a link to a video explaining what I do with your money. Get it? Got it? Cool. Let's move on. All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking about Harley Davidson and how I feel like they kind of surrendered in 2023. And honestly, I feel like they did a lot of self-inflicted damage to themselves that really cost them when it came to the bottom line in 2023. Now, I know some of you are probably saying, oh, well, that's Harley every year. All they do is self-inflicted wounds, death by a million little cuts. That's why they're going down the drain. What the hell? Nothing new here. But I want to zero in on something that I think did more damage than anything else they did. And I think it's going to continue to do some damage going forward. And I really want to shine a light on this because I'm very sad about this. I honestly am. For a few different reasons. We'll get into that though. All right, so as most of you know, in 2023, Harley released their new 2023 models of their CVO line. And what they did is they refreshed the Street Glide and they refreshed the Road Glide. So it was met with a lot of different sort of responses. Like some people loved it, some people hated it. A lot of people started getting Indian Tourette's and they're just like, it looks like a Challenger, it looks like a Challenger. All right, look. The adults are talking, so if you're watching this video and you're one of those people, just go sit in the corner and we'll come get you when it's time for lunch. The thing is, when you guys say it looks like an Indian Challenger, when the Indian Challenger came out, y'all said it looked like the Road Glide. So if the Indian Challenger ripped off the Road Glide and the Road Glide ripped off the Indian Challenger, doesn't that still make it a Road Glide? Yeah, it's called Inception. Get used to it. Everyone does it. Cars do it, bikes do it, whatever. It's a thing. Calm yourselves down. But now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about why I feel like the 2023s really did a lot of damage to Harley Davidson. And this is one of those things where I feel like Harley didn't do a good job playing chess. They were just kind of playing checkers. They were like, oh, let's, throw out this new bike and we'll be awesome, yeah! Not thinking about all the repercussions that come with that. So again, some people liked the 2023 CVOs, some people hated them, some people were just neutral on them. But overall, I feel like this hurt Harley's sales on many different levels. So let's start peeling back some of those levels. First and foremost, if you did not like the way those CVOs looked altogether, you want nothing to do with them, then you're not going to buy them. And also, what's going to happen is people who already own Road Glides and Street Glides, a lot of times they like to upgrade to the next one, the next year, the next model. And a lot of times, the only thing they're upgrading to is different paint or like slightly more horsepower, or this time they get LEDs. So for all those CVO owners that normally take their CVOs, trade them in, get the newest one, so on and so forth, those people probably aren't doing that if they don't like the new CVOs. They're going to just hold on to the bikes that they have. Now, if you do like the CVOs, I feel like this also hurt your Harley's bottom line because there are people who do not want to spend the $43,000 or $53,000 MSRP that the silver version and the whiskey neat version are priced at. So they're going to wait until that style trickles down into the specials, the standards, and all the other 100 different names that Harley puts out for the same bike. They are not going to take their current bike and go trade it in for another bike while they're waiting for that newer model to trickle down. Let's be honest, the 2023 Street Glides and Road Glides did not change from previous years. They had the same engine, they had the same parts, they had the same everything, except for a slightly different paint job, unless of course you bought the 120th anniversary super duper paint job and all that crap, but nothing changed. So if you have a 2022 and you like the way those CVOs look, you're just gonna wait until stuff trickles down. If you have a 2021, same thing. There's no point in upgrading to a 2023 Street Glide or Road Glide if you're waiting for that newer look to trickle down to the lower models. That's just fact. So I feel like Harley hurt themselves in sales right there, because people who normally year over year upgrade no longer have a reason to until that newer model trickles down. This also goes for people that hate the new CVO models. They may look at it and go, well, there's no reason for me to buy a new bike. And I'm talking about people who have lower models than the CVO. If you have a 2022 and you see that 2023 and you hate the way it looks, and you don't care about buying a new color for 2023 on one of the lower models, you have no reason to buy a 2023 model, whether it be the lower models or the CVO models. Harley just hurt themselves sales-wise like that, because more people are going to hang on to their bikes if they like the previous style that they currently have. Now, styles aside, there were many other issues. So the CVO, when it was released, almost instantly started having a lot of recalls. Both the Road Glide and the Street Glide had a ton of recalls having to do with the rear master brake fluid cylinder and like the brake line freeing up from the frame. It wasn't attached correctly, which would actually cause failures, accidents, stuff like that if the brake line started leaking. This was a big recall, and this is something that really shouldn't have been an issue, especially right out the gate. I honestly get very annoyed when any sort of vehicle manufacturer has recalls almost instantly after they release their vehicle. I can understand, 6 months, year, stuff like that down the road, because people do weird stuff to their vehicles. You have no idea. You can't test for everything, and you're going to realize stuff long term. I get that. But when a bike goes out and then you're like, well, bring it back, which is essentially what Harley was doing with these CVOs, that is ridiculous. That means they are not doing their job when it comes to testing and R&D before they're releasing these bikes. And that wasn't the only recall that they were having issues with. The Street Glides, pretty much all of the Street Glides that first came out, the first like 1,100 or something, it was like 100% recall, were all brought back because the front fairing couldn't handle higher speeds. It was actually causing the bikes to become less stable. It was causing the fairing to lift up. There were all kinds of problems with that. So they brought back all the Street Glides on a recall, and they reprogrammed the ECM, so most likely to tune down the power on it so it can't go as fast and it can't have these issues, and to provide a ballast and a strap to the front of the bike. What's a ballast and a strap? Well, essentially they just take a big chunk of metal and strap it to the front part of like the inside of the fairing to weigh down the bike a little bit more so we can handle higher speeds without losing control. What the hell is that, Harley? You're essentially just taking a piece of rebar and a strap and you're like, fixed it on a $43,000 or $53,000 MSRP bike. That is insane. Who would spend $53,000 and then be okay with you just strapping a piece of metal to the front of the bike to keep it from losing control, and also down tuning it a little bit so it can't go as fast so you don't have that issue? This was just absolutely insane on Harley's part, and this is something that you should have caught in like wind tunnel testing, like road testing. There's so many different things that Harley should have done before these bikes even like rolled out to be sold, where they could have caught this, because these issues were occurring around 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. I get it, these are not highway speeds, but let's be honest, there's a lot of hooligans out there and they're not doing speed limits. So Harley should have been testing this long before these ever made it to the sales floor. This was disastrous, and this was embarrassing for Harley altogether. I have no idea what the hell they were thinking with this, but yeah, this is one of those things where it's like you're buying, again, a $43,000, $53,000 bike, and you're like, oh wait, I've got a recall a few weeks after buying it. Why the hell am I still buying from this company? That is a huge black eye. Harley is just insane right there. On top of that, the new engines, the VVT engines, were having quite a few issues and quite a few recalls as well. I actually remember going to Manchester Harley one day, maybe about a month after these bikes were actually delivered to the floor. I was at Manchester Harley in New Hampshire. There was a guy there who bought one of the VVTs. He was a first day CVO buyer, and he was standing there, and I was like, hey, how do you like your bike? He's like, I don't know. I had it for about a week. I had all these engine noises like grinding and slamming and knocking and stuff, so I had to bring it back, and it's been in the shop for a few weeks getting repaired. That is nuts. Again, $43,000, $53,000 bike, and you buy it and instantly have to drop it off to have the engine fixed 4 weeks. That Harley, what's going on, guys? This is sloppy. This is absolutely sloppy, and this was absolute garbage on your part. Now, the other thing with the CVOs, when they first came out, like I said, I liked that Harley moved forward. I didn't agree with all the stuff, but I did like that they did like take a swing and really try and upgrade, move forward, make some changes. Good on them. The problem is they cannot help themselves. Harley cannot help themselves ever. They just have to do some of the dumbest things possible and just call it a day. A lot of the rumors before these bikes came out were they're gonna have adjustable windshields to compete with like the Indian models and all that fun stuff. They did not have adjustable windshields. Another rumor was they were gonna have monoshocks. I thought they were gonna have monoshocks because when you looked at the side of the bike, it had that little knob on the side, which they have used on their Softail models that have monoshocks. And I was like, this is awesome. Finally, they're catching up. They're catching up to their competitors. They're gonna have a more stable bike. This is gonna be great. No, that knob is there to just adjust one shock. So again, they still have two shocks in the rear. One is just a slave shock that really doesn't do much of anything, and then one is adjustable. That is absolute garbage on Harley's part. They should have just went all the way and put a mono shock in there. The fact that they just went the lazy route again was just dumb. That was so dumb and so lazy. Then of course, as I mentioned before, they put the VVT engine in, gave it more horsepower, they gave it more torque and all that stuff, and I understand what they were going for. They were trying to keep an air-cooled bike because a Harley purist does enjoy an air-cooled bike, so high five to them. But they still managed to keep this thing having less horsepower than its main competitor, the Indian Challenger. And it's like, you had years to figure this out, and you couldn't do it. And now I know some of you might chime in and say, oh, well, Harley leaves horsepower in the engine to be found. And I come back to that with a couple different things. A, so does Indian. So what you get on the sales floor is not the final numbers. You can like get aftermarket ECMs and all that stuff. You can get tunes and all that are gonna bring the horsepower and torque up the same way as Harley. That is no longer an argument. And honestly, again, $43,000 bike, $53,000 bike, depending on which paint job you get. Do you really want to start spending thousands more to find horsepower? Harley, just put the damn horsepower in there. This is not a Where's Waldo book. This is a Harley. Like, just put the horsepower in, make it available right away off the sales floor, let's go. So that also now brings us to the last part where I feel like Harley just kind of gave up, because Indian has been running their Challengers for a few years now. They have not changed the engine. It's 108 cubic inch liquid cooled, and it continues to have more horsepower off the floor than a Harley. It does have a little less torque, but it's also about 30 pounds lighter than a Harley, so you know, dollar for dollar, you're getting about the same thing. It's all good. The problem is, this is the Indian Challenger Elite. This is their absolute best bike. Now notice that it has like custom paint job, like it has different colored rims, like they put a ton of like money and effort into this. So this has everything that a CVO has. Like it has the keyless bags, like keyless lock, sorry. It's got like, you know, 4-speaker stereo. It's got upgraded everything. It's got heated grips. It's got the adjustable windshield. This bike right here in this configuration is thousands cheaper than what I consider the base model of the CVO, the silver one, because the silver one comes in at 43,000 MSRP. This comes in at about 38,000 MSRP. So I mean, I get it. Not everyone likes the way the Challenger looks, although all of you keep saying the new Harley looks like the Challenger, so same bike, tit for tat, whatever, you should love this bike. That paint is way better. And if you ever get a chance to look at like Challenger paint in person, it looks pretty damn nice. They put a lot of effort into that, just like Harley does. So they are offering a bigger, better product at less money than Harley is. So Harley is still not being competitive. And I know some of you may say, well, Harley's got a bigger aftermarket so you can customize and stuff like that. To that I say, you just bought something from the custom vehicle organization, or whatever the stupid O stands for. I don't care. So you've already bought like Harley's custom, and the CVO, they make way more of them. This bike here, they make like 120 for the entire world. Harley put out more than that in their first wave of CVOs, so it's really not as special as they try and make it sound like it used to be. I don't know. CVOs have definitely lost some of their shine when it comes to their elusiveness and, like, you know, hard to get. Really, the only reason why they're hard to get is, do you really want to spend $53,000 on a bike? Again, you could buy a really nice sports car for the exact same price, or, you know, a big old hillbilly truck, whatever. Like, this is not a good price for a bike. Even this $38,000 for this Challenger is a little obnoxious. I mean, it's a bike. So nonetheless, Harley is not being competitive with their main Challenger and and Indian as well. They are really starting to get a foothold in the market. So there is a lot of aftermarket coming out and supporting them now. So you are seeing a lot of the same stuff that you can get for Harley, you can now get on an Indian. There's a company that's making 3D printed dashboards and stuff, so you can rearrange your console on that Challenger and put T-bars in without cutting anything and making everything look like it should be there. They have all the same kind of exhaust offerings. Basically, any company that offers exhaust for Harley is pretty much offering exhaust for Indian now. You can get your bike tuned, you can get big bore kits, you can get aftermarket seats, lights, whatever you want. So Harley is losing a lot of ground, and right now it just feels like they're resting on their laurels, and they're like, oh, you know, we've got the more recognizable name, we're just going to use that to, you know, keep propelling us forward. And that is a horrible way to do things, and they need to stop. Harley does not seem to be realizing that they are dying a death by a million cuts, and they're the ones holding the knife. Like, Harley, come on, guys. I want you to succeed. When I make a video like this, it is not for me to like sit there and go, haha, Harley, you suck, I hope you die. That's not what I'm saying. I want Harley to succeed. I like my Harley. I like the Harley community I've got. I like all that stuff. I like the sound, I like the feel, I like, you know, all the aftermarket parts. I like the way that I have customized my bike and how good it feels. For me, it's customized to me. I want to see this company succeed and continue, but it seems like they just do not care. It really feels like Harley is straight up surrendered, and that is such a sad state of affairs to see. I don't know, that's what I got. What do you guys think? Throw a comment down below. Let's avoid the Road Glide just looks like a Challenger. Again, children, sit in the corner, adults are talking, we'll take care of this later on. I'll buy you some candy or something, I don't know, we'll read you a book. It's just dumb. It's useless input. But yeah, what do you guys think? Throw it down below. Love to hear it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who spent $53,000 on a CVO base MSRP. And he's currently waiting for Harley to fix it so he can take it for a ride. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see you all on the flip side.